Welcome to Straight Outta Savannah. I am so excited. My guest Loreal Moss is joining me. I have been trying to get this girl on my stage for years, and here she is, and she is the sensuality architect. So she's going to tell you all about who she is, what she does, how she can help you. Loreal, take it away.
Thank you. I'm so glad to finally be here. I feel like everything that led up to this moment happened exactly the way it was supposed to happen because now I'm ready. Okay.
Yeah.
So hello everyone. My name is Loreal. I'm the sensuality architect. And I have just been telling people I am a podcaster who is creating workshops and products and doing all the things to help women embrace pleasure as a lifestyle because it's your birthright.
Oh, I love that. I love that. So
Thank you.
So let's talk about how you arrived at that because a lot of people are doing a lot of things,
Mhm.
but to get to the point where, you want women to grasp pleasure.
Yeah.
How did you come up with that?
Um, it's something that I've always wanted to do. I just never really knew how I was going to do it. It's something that I've talked myself out of quite a bit over the years
Yeah.
because I felt like it was too much. Or I just didn't trust the vision. I didn't trust myself to be able to carry it out.
Yes.
Without having any like problems. Like I'm a recovering perfectionist. And
Yes.
so I was very much in the all or nothing. So instead of just working with what I had, I just decided to do nothing at all. But it got to a point where I just couldn't sit by anymore and keep allowing this to build up in me. I got to a point where I was just ready to explore and I wanted to have some fun. And so I just let myself explore things that I wanted to explore. I started educating myself about kink and BDSM. And I was like, ooh, I can talk to people about this. I was actually surprised at how much I already knew when I started, venturing out and, attending different events and things like that. And so it started with that.
Mhm.
And then from there, it just kind of evolved. So 2023, I decided to create the Power of Pleasure Summit. And I interviewed like 30 something people.
Woo!
Yeah, like in a 2 week period, I interviewed like 30 something people. And I ran those interviews like back to back over like a 5 day period back in May of 2023. And it was then where I was like, I want to do this. I really enjoy talking to people. I get to be like curious and have fun, and I get to see what life has to offer. That's the way that I look at it.
Yeah.
Because you get out here in social media and you see what people want you to see.
Yes.
So much of what we're taking in is curated. You
Yes.
it's filters, it's aesthetic, it's trendy,
Yeah.
and you don't really get to see how people genuinely operate.
Hmm.
But when I was doing those interviews, I got to hear about people's story and where they came from and what inspired them and what lit them up and share stories about how pleasure looks for everybody.
Hmm.
Because a lot of people, when they hear the word pleasure, they automatically think sex and then they think it's like dirty or
Yeah.
there's something wrong with the word pleasure. But I
Right.
wanted to show people that you can have pleasure in every part of your life. It's not just about what goes on in the bedroom because there's people who don't even have sex. There's people who are asexual. They don't engage in sex. They're not interested in sex. At least not in the traditional sense when it comes to, penetration or masturbation or whatever. And they are still living fulfilled lives. And so from the summit, I wanted to host it again 2024, but life just got the life in, and I just wasn't able to do it. I had slipped into some old patterns and I had to get my ass back in therapy and get my shit together. And so I'm back at it with the podcast and I couldn't be happier.
I'm so excited for you because that is,
Thank you.
I'm telling you that podcast journey. For me, I love this. Like I absolutely love doing this show. And it's
Mhm.
and it's crazy because I've been doing it 4 or 5 years now.
Mhm.
But I
Which is
just I just kind of niched down within the last about year and a half to just
Mhm.
spiritual entrepreneurs because I
Mm,
love those conversations.
yeah,
We can't have those conversations just anywhere.
yeah, yeah,
And
that's
I
true.
love them. And I just, and it's crazy for me to think about it because in myself, I am an introvert.
Mm-hmm.
Now, people always think, they see me on social and they're like, oh my God, but I'm like, no, I
Mm-hmm.
love my own company.
Yeah.
I don't have to be, in the middle of nothing, and so, the podcast for me is like, it's like a creative outlet. And right now it's a passion project because I ain't making no money,
Yes.
but I love it,
Yeah. I
so,
get that.
oh my God, I'm just excited for you because it really is a journey. And as you
Mhm.
do it, because to me, it was like God told me to start mine.
Yeah.
God said, start a podcast. And I was like, what? I don't
Mm,
know how to do that. I don't have the stuff. And God said, start it on YouTube. And
yeah.
when I started it on Facebook Live. I
Mhm.
just even do Facebook Lives with people and then download it and upload it to YouTube. That's how I started it. And I was like, okay. And it's evolved and grown over time, even down to like my scheduler. Because I was having to reach back and forth to people to get their pictures and get their
Mhm.
links and all this stuff. And so the Holy Spirit said, no, 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 no. Create this tool and attach it to the schedule.
Mhm.
That way it makes it easy. You ain't got to be going back because people, how people are.
Yeah.
You got to be going
I
back and
know.
forth. Like I had some people, I would reach out to them and say, "Look, I need your details," and they would never send them and ghost me. So you know what? They just didn't have details on theirs.
Same. Same.
I'm like, I ain't got time. I'm not gonna be running back and forth. I got other things to do.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, so I'm excited for you because that journey it's gonna be transformative. But the other
Mhm.
thing is too, it's gonna help you with your business because
Yeah.
you have seen how to do it.
Yes.
You see, like I came in and I just started doing things because the Holy Spirit told me I didn't have no people because there was no people back then, like
Mm-hmm.
when podcasts, education and all this. I learned from YouTube University,
Yeah.
there
Mm-hmm.
were no people. And now it's all of that is together. Like they got people that are even like teaching podcasting and, groups and, programs and stuff to help you to launch and this and that. And so
Mm-hmm.
I think it's just amazing.
Yeah. And I'm excited about it too because I had a podcast. I started one in like 2021,
You sure
like
did.
around like pandemic time. It was Girls Fuck Them Kids.
Yeah, I remember that.
I was so excited about it. But I stopped because I got scared. I got discouraged. I was like, man, I don't know if people are listening. Like, what am I doing? What am I saying? Because I went from interviewing people to just me talking, and I ended up just thinking myself out of it,
Yeah.
but it came right back. And this time I'm not letting it go. Like you said, your podcast is a passion project. That's exactly what this is for me. Like, this is my joy experiment.
Yeah.
I told myself, like, I'm going to be happy by any means necessary. And I
Yes.
started by creating this podcast. I enjoy talking to people. I would love to like host events and parties and retreats and stuff like that. I don't even have to have my own stuff. Like, let me come host your stuff because I'm good at what I do.
And
And people,
that right
yeah,
there is the shift.
yeah,
That's the shift that I saw. And I saw it on social media, which is crazy, But I saw it. I saw that shift. I looked, I said, look at Loreal. Look, I was like this. Look at my little sis out here doing the thing. I
that
said,
means a
okay,
lot. That really means a lot because it's been a journey. It has.
girl, it is still a journey.
Mhm.
Because you know why? It's a marathon, it's not a sprint.
Yeah.
As the people,
Mhm.
tell you on social media, oh, come and, give me 10K and then I'll show you how to get 10K months. Of course.
I don't know.
Of course you will. I done made your 10K month because I gave you 10K that I didn't
Exactly. Mm-hmm.
have. So
Mm,
yeah. Um,
yeah.
so there was a question that I had for you. So what made you start really going in that direction of the pleasure? Was it due to like you wanting to arouse pleasure within yourself, or how did that work?
It was that, and people from the time I was in college to now, people would come to me with the things that they were dealing with when it came to them not feeling sexy or just not being excited about life in general. Not being, not feeling like they had anything going for themselves. I remember having conversations with people where they were just trying to figure out what to do on a day-to-day basis to make themselves feel good. And I had always been the person that they came to. I never told people that, you know, I didn't say you couldn't come to me, but I'm never like, yeah, if you have problems feeling sexy, girl, let's talk. There was never anything like that, but people just gravitated towards me to help them with that. They felt comfortable sharing those things with me. And it was interesting to me that a lot of the things that we talked about, it didn't have anything to do with sex. It was all like mental mental things that they're thinking about, things that they're seeing, dealing with like self-esteem, all of that, and just not feeling comfortable in their own skin.
Mm,
And all of that came from not only societal conditioning, but really not being embodied and not being comfortable inside their body.
yes.
And I noticed that a lot of things that I was telling them was about having them get in touch with themselves. Like, what is it that you like doing? Oh, I like blowing bubbles. Well, go get you some damn bubbles and blow them, and just see what happens. Lean into those feelings and then start doing other things to bring more of that into your life. And so it just kind of spiraled from there.
Mm. That is just powerful, girl. That is so powerful because you think about this like, how does one even consider that? Because the thing I thought about is, and how I help women now is I help them to become the love that they seek. And
That's beautiful.
so, God, I mean, but it's so much of that same
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah,
They got to know that they're worthy because, many of us culturally have been told that we weren't worthy,
yeah.
or we've been shown that we weren't worthy.
Mhm.
And so it's so much of that to help people to transform their minds and to release the limits and beliefs that they have about themselves. You know, and
Yeah,
and I think to me, I think the work that you're doing is God's work.
yeah.
Because
It
women
is.
need to know it's so much of that out there where, people are looking at societal stereotypes and stuff, about women. And can you speak to that?
About the stereotypes.
Yeah, from society.
Well, I mean, people say there's nothing new under the sun.
Well,
And I think that I think that the reason why it's being broadcast so much is because of the access that we have to technology. Because I can guarantee if whoever's watching or listening, if you were to go and ask whatever female elder, that you have available to you, if they dealt with certain situations at like the basic level, leave the technology out of it. But if you ask them if anybody has ever said something to them that made them feel like they wasn't shit and were never gonna be shit,
hmm
if you ask them if they've ever dealt with discrimination in the workplace or just being told that something is wrong with them simply by existing, they
yeah,
can probably recall at least one story, at least one thing that has happened to them in their life that made them feel othered, that made them feel unworthy or undeserving,
yes,
whether it was a friendship, relationship, co-worker, a stranger on the street. And
right,
so all of these things happened in their time, but now we can see them.
yes,
Now we can see them
yes,
all the time.
yes,
And not only are we seeing real things that people are going through, there's people that are rage baiting and making up worst case scenarios and bullshit just so they can get clicks and views and make money off these social channels.
yeah, yeah,
And so a lot of what we're seeing too is inflated, it's exaggerated.
Yes.
And then with the rise of AI, and I'm not against AI by any means,
Mhm.
but with the rise of AI and people's ability to learn these tools and systems and manipulate them, they can make anything look real. And because we're so used to instant gratification, and so many of us have succumbed to like groupthink and hive mind, a lot of us are not taking the time to step back and question what it is that we're seeing and question what it is that we're letting into our spirit.
Yes.
Because everything is by design.
Yeah.
Everything is by design.
Yeah.
That's why there's so many, that's why it's so easy to get these algorithms to show you certain things. You click on one recipe video, 12 more recipe videos
I
come.
was gonna say that's all they're gonna put in your feed.
You click on one video of a girl doing a booty workout, you get 15 more asses in your face. Like that's how it works. It's all by design.
Yeah.
It's all by design. And so the stereotypes definitely have an influence, but part of the work that I do, and I know part of the work that you do as well, is to get people to focus on what's important to them
Yes.
and what's real to them and
Yeah.
what they need and what they desire. And
Yes.
like fuck everything else because it's all noise.
Yes.
And it doesn't matter at the end of the day.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Because if they can just get centered,
Mm-hmm.
and actually, because it's so amazing that I find that almost anybody that I work with, that's the first step. Like you have to spend time, and sometimes shit is a whole session, with the person and say, hey, you gotta come over here and let's get you connected,
Yes.
because you're not connected to your body, number one.
Mm-hmm.
You're not
Mm-hmm.
connected to your soul even.
Yeah.
You're not connected to your God self. So, so where are you at? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so that is like a huge thing. And what I notice is that a lot of people are not really dealing with that now.
Mm-mm.
A lot of people that do the things that we do
Yeah.
dealing with that. And it's so important. Like it needs to be, you have to do it.
Yes.
If you, I don't know what they're doing if they're not.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, I mean, because these people are hella disconnected.
Yes. They
You
are.
know, and I've seen that, and it's just an amazing thing when we can, bring them back to center and say, you know what, no, and yes, you
Mm-hmm.
are worthy. You're not whatever they told you you were.
Mm-hmm.
And speaking of the AI, so I was watching All the Queen's Men, and one of the sections they showed where one of the guys was somebody, and it wasn't he didn't do it. It wasn't him. So
Mm-hmm.
it was AI that they did to make it, look like
Mm-hmm.
did it. And I thought it's just interesting.
Yeah, it is.
And and I thought to myself, if they're doing that on the TV shows,
Mm-hmm.
they're probably doing it in real life too.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just it's just it's another level.
Yeah, it is. I think we are blessed to be in the middle of a lot of astrological like power, like transformative power. And I think that's why a lot of this stuff is kind of bubbling up to the surface again because a lot of people are finally starting to unplug from the matrix, so to speak.
Yes.
A lot of people have like woken up because that's what it felt like for me before I started working on this podcast. It felt like I woke up and I looked around and was like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah.
Like what is going on with my life? Why do I feel like this? And
Yes.
I didn't even have an answer, but I knew that I wasn't gonna stay there
Yeah.
because it felt like if I stayed there, I was gonna die. And I
Yeah.
don't want to die. I want to live.
Yeah. No, not ready to do that at this time.
Right? Like I want to live, and this is not going to help me. I don't like feeling drained and being unhappy. I'm miserable. I'm cranky. I'm grumpy. All I want to do is lay in the bed all day. No, something is wrong. And so I stopped paying so much attention to what was online. If I did watch things online, I watched motivational things. I listened to subliminal audios.
Yes.
I listen to meditation music,
Yes.
lo-fi,
Yes.
music,
Yes.
just to disconnect my brain from all the constant chatter.
Yes.
Because it's not only your voice in your head. You have all of the outside voices going on, everything is social media, and you have to be so protective of what you are feeding your spirit.
Yes.
And I'm of the belief that we are all connected. We're all part of the collective consciousness. And so a lot of the thoughts that I was having weren't even my own.
Absolutely.
But because I wasn't in the practice of listening to my own voice, recognizing my voice,
You thought
recognizing
they were.
what it sounds like to me, I couldn't tell the difference anymore. And I wasn't in control of myself anymore.
Yes.
And a lot of people are starting to realize that. And
Yeah.
they are wanting to do something about it, which I think is beautiful.
Me
And
too.
I'm here to help, and I know you are too.
I sure am because it's like we've been calling for this awakening for years.
Yeah.
Like we saw this way back during them times we was doing what was that group? The Woo Collective.
Yes.
We saw
Yeah,
that. That group was like it was revolutionary.
it was.
And I think about the growth that I got just from, being there with
Hmm.
everybody because it was encouraging and the vibe was high and them Thursday lives and stuff was fun.
Hmm.
So I just think about that and I think about pivotal times in our lives, that have helped us to move forward and that I
Absolutely.
consider that one.
Hmm.
And I feel like we saw this thing coming. Like we saw it. We knew that it was happening. And I think that a lot of times in the world, they want to discount that just
Yeah.
because of all the cults that are. The girl I just interviewed told me that it was 400 and something religions under Christianity. Did you know that?
I had no idea. I knew that there was at least 100, but not 400.
That's what I said. I was like, I had heard like 70 some or 80 something or something like that.
Mhm.
And I would have went with 100, but she said 400 and something. I was like, because the reason why we said that was because I said, people take scriptures that Paul said and make whole religions on
Oh my goodness.
them.
They do. They do.
You're like, wait, what?
Hmm.
And anyway, we're not talking about that today, but
No. Please, no.
no, that is not the topic. So, moving forward, where do you see yourself with this? I mean, because I think we talked offline about, um, or maybe you said it just now, doing retreats and stuff, even for other people.
So I'm letting this be what it is, which is tough for me. It is not easy, but I'm leaning into what feels good about it. And that is just the anticipation of the miracles, like and the anticipation of my prayers being answered. And I feel like this is one of the channels for that. Absolutely. And so what I see is this becoming a movement. And I don't know if it's going to continue as a podcast, but I know I would love to do retreats. I'm open to hosting my own. I'm open to hosting, retreats for other people because a lot of people want to just be there and participate and talk to the people. They don't want to have to do a lot of extra. I'm here for the extra.
That's
You
me.
know? Yeah, like
I'm the visionary. I want to go, I want to talk to the people and, do meditations and healings and, whatever. But
Mhm.
I'm not interested in, I can't do the detail work. It's just not, I can't do it. I'm a reflector 2/4
Got you.
and, I can't do it. I've tried.
I got you.
People,
Yeah.
people are looking at me like, well, that's just lazy. I'm like, no, you don't
Mm-mm.
understand. I was like, it's just not in my capacity to do it.
Mm-mm. It zaps you.
It
It
does.
zaps you. Yeah, I
Like,
get it. I'm a manifesting generator 3/6.
oh, so this is your thing.
Yes, I'm here for it. And so I would like to, in addition to retreats and things, have workshops, virtual, in person, doesn't matter. And I would like to eventually get to a place where I can have micro grants for people to support them in their mental health, like pay for people to go to therapy, pay for people to get holistic services, pay for people to get Reiki and stuff, so they don't have to keep trying to catch, free sessions when people are offering them. And, they can have their own
I know
practitioner.
exactly what you're talking
You know
about.
what I'm saying? Like you don't have to catch the free readings. You don't have to catch the free distance. No, like I would love to be able to pay for somebody's therapy for a whole year or pay for somebody to have their own spiritual advisor for a year. Pay for somebody's medications for the year. So they don't have to worry about whether or not they're going to have to skip their meds for a month and, throw their system out of whack or any of that, because taking care of ourselves in that way is a part of pleasure too. And that's what people don't want you to know. They want you to think that pleasure is about sex and, just being sexy and all that stuff. Pleasure is about taking care of yourself from the inside out. You know, if you find yourself having an orgasm and when you get done, you feel like shit, it's something missing on the inside.
I don't, I mean, is that even possible
Yes,
to have
yes,
an orgasm and still feel like shit? Because
yes, yes.
I have never had that experience.
I've I have experienced that.
Okay.
I've experienced it. Like it feels good for the moment, but once you come down off that high, it's like,
It's like church.
yeah,
You
mm-hmm,
go to church, you shout,
yep,
sing,
mm-hmm,
praise God, you
yep,
take your behind to the altar and call Jesus,
all that,
drop
all,
all your stuff down, and then you pick it up. And when you get ready to go, you pick it up,
yep,
take it right back with you. And
exactly.
that's what that sounds like.
Exactly. Yeah. I have experienced that. I don't anymore, and I'm grateful for that. But I've heard other women have experienced that. Women not being able to connect to their partner during sex. And it's not something that their partner is doing. They're just so in their head, they're not in their body.
Well, yeah, because women, people, I think that a lot of times they don't realize that women, for women, sex starts in our head. It don't
Yes.
start in our pussy. I mean, our
Yeah. Yeah.
it starts here, and
Mhm.
people don't realize that. It's like I think I had to tell my husband one day. I was like, because he was like, you. I was like, I don't know. I was like, something is going on with me. I said, I am dealing with some hormonal stuff because I took my estradiol patch off.
Mhm.
So I've been having more, personal summers, and I know my
Mhm.
hormones are probably not where they should be.
Yeah.
But I'm working on them and I'm doing some natural things and stuff like that
Good.
because I decided that no sense in risking breast cancer for hormones. I'm just not gonna
Absolutely.
you
Absolutely.
know?
Mhm.
But that's been a challenge, you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
I could see some things, but like I told him, I said, but I'm also proactive about it. Like
Yeah.
also like I got that wild yam cream and I've been using that.
Mhm.
Got a few other things, something called DIM, and I got some other thing that I'm doing, estrogen or something like that.
Mhm.
So I'm doing the thing because I'm like,
Yeah.
I can't let nothing like that win.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I could understand that. And then I know a lot of people that deal with like conditions,
Hmm.
they've got to, want to be desirable or desired.
But you have awareness that a lot of people don't
Right, right. Yeah.
because you're willing to sit in the truth about what you're dealing with.
Yeah.
You're willing to sit in the discomfort, you
Yes.
know. But a lot of people are not.
No. And
They give
those are your people.
right, and they give up so much of themselves to other people and they're functioning on autopilot, which is why they have those highs and those lows hit like a ton of bricks.
Yes.
And
Yes.
they're trying to figure out how did I get here?
Yeah.
If you find yourself laying next to the love of your life or whatever, and you are just dissatisfied, it's time to look within and see what's going on.
Yeah.
It might not be a sexual thing. It could be a mental thing. It could be a hormonal thing. You know, like you mentioned, it could be something going in internally.
Yes.
But because you're not embodied and you're not engaging in self-awareness to know what you're feeling and what you need to seek attention for,
Right.
you're struggling. And it doesn't have to be that way.
No, it doesn't. No.
Mm-mm.
Because the thing is, oh, there's always something. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? And if you allow these things to, come and just take you down like that.
yeah.
And then the other thing is too is we all go through stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So, you allow it to take you down, but do you stay there?
Right.
You know what I mean? Do you stay?
Mhm.
No, you gotta, no.
Yeah, yeah. You got to get up. At
I
some point, you got to get up. I was just telling somebody a couple of weeks ago, like right now, life is rolling all over you, and I get it. But
Yep.
at some point, you're going to have to get the fuck up.
Yep.
Like, period. At some point, you have to get up. You cannot stay there and
No.
think you're going to make it.
Yes, exactly. Because people
Mhm.
die like that. And
They
I
do.
don't think people realize that.
Yeah, they just,
Young people.
yes.
I mean, I've seen so much of that lately. It's insane. I'm like, people 35, 32. I'm like, what is really going on with this?
Yeah.
It's something out here, in the collective. And it's almost like, okay, so because we've been conditioned culturally and worldly, I guess, as well, to disconnect from our bodies. We condition from that from children.
Yeah.
When we go to school, we want to
Mhm.
be disconnected from our bodies,
Yeah.
and you tell little kids, not to touch themselves.
Hmm.
Why? Let them touch themselves. They
Yeah.
can explore.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's crazy. And the guilt I think that people feel, and just like you said, you're talking about pleasure, people's minds immediately go to, just one thing.
Hmm. Yeah.
And no.
No, like pleasure for me, like I try to do a post every day of what pleasure was like for me. And pleasure is eating some good food. Pleasure is sleeping in, taking a nap. Pleasure is laughing at the little silly jokes my kids tell me. A lot of the things I post about pleasure don't have anything to do with sex.
Hmm. And that's
But
good because
I'm full. I'm
yes.
full.
Well, the thing is you're not one dimensional. Like we're all multidimensional beings, whether we want to believe it or not. You're full, and so you have more things going on than just a one track mind.
Yep.
And that like that is so amazing to me, and I'm so happy to connect with you and talk to you about this because people need to hear it, and
I,
we are just the thing is people deal with it, but they don't even realize that it's a situation. You know what I mean? Or that they can get help.
yeah. Yeah. So that's why I'm showing up doing it and I want to show people as many different ways to change their life as possible.
Yes.
That's what I want to do. So that's why I'm showing up in this space. And that's why I have the podcast. And that's why I'm sharing the messages I share.
Yes. I'm so excited about that. I'm so excited.
Thank you.
All right, we're
Thank you.
gonna land this plane. So, um, the question that I ask everybody, and I've been asking it now for I think at least 200 shows. But
Mm.
the question that I ask is if there was anything in the world that you could change, what would that be and why?
Ooh, that's a good question.
I know.
I love that feeling. Ooh, I love that. See, that's pleasure. I love that. Um, Anything that I could change.
I think I only got the same answer twice.
I would change the, how can I say this? I want to get my words together. It's interesting because I personally believe that God is in everything, even, the things that hurt. Because when you think about people and everybody's perspectives, we all process things differently,
Right.
and good and bad is relative, right? And so
Right.
somebody can do something and they're like, oh, God told me to do this, but it is so hurtful to somebody else, right?
Yes.
And I'm not saying that it's okay, but to me, it's just evidence that God is in everything. If there was anything that I would change, I would change the way that Black people, especially, were introduced to God.
Mm.
I would change that because the way that a lot of our ancestors were introduced to God was that God was this white man that we could only access in death.
Yeah, we gotta wait to go to heaven to.
Right. We had to suffer and be beaten and treated like animals, sometimes worse than animals,
Yeah.
in order to have this great gift.
Mhm.
And it's false.
Yes.
It's false. I feel like if we had a different introduction to God and who God truly is, and
Mhm.
that God is within us,
Yes.
that every breath we take, every time we blink our eyes, every word we speak is proof of God,
Yes.
that would change the game. That would change the game for every.
Uh, that would change a lot of games if you think about it, because
Yeah.
so much of the things that we have dealt with is because of that.
Hmm.
Because of the colonialism
Hmm.
within that institution,
Yeah.
because they manipulated that book in order
Yeah.
to, enslave us. And not only that, to give us an enslaved mindset
That.
that we are still overcoming today,
Yes.
all those years ago.
Hmm.
So yeah, I'm with you with that. Because I think the thing that I said was racism and basically the same thing.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty much.
It was like, this is how y'all introduced and indoctrinated us, to
Hmm.
believe that we were lower. Something is not right with that, and you're right.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's my final answer.
Love it. I love it. I love it. And that's different. That is another one that's different. I trip. I'm like, oh my God. Every time I ask that question, I get such a different answer. And it's just fascinating to me.
Well, good.
Yeah.
I feel like that I answered that pretty well. I'm not used to being put on the spot. I'm normally in the on the other side, putting other folks on the spot. But I appreciate it. I appreciate uh being stimulated in that way. So thank you.
Yes, my job. I say the same thing. I'm like, I'm not used to being interviewed, but I'm gonna start in this new year. I decided
Mm.
that that's what I'm gonna do.
Oh
Maybe
yeah,
on
I
some
can't
other
wait. I
shows.
gotta have you on the show. It's gonna be my turn.
Look, for show. So share with the people where they can connect best with you, and also if you what you have going on, if you have programs that you're, launching, or
Thank you. Well, I appreciate the opportunity. So,
absolutely.
again, everyone, my name is Loreal, and you can follow me really on Substack. I have socials. I'm not very active. I'm not going to sit here and act like I'm on social media all the time. So my show is the Power of Pleasure podcast. And it's just Power of Pleasure podcast.substack.com. You can follow me there. There's blogs and stuff on there. I have a free PDF to help you get started with figuring out what pleasure looks like and feels like for you. It's called Pleasure One on One. It's
Right.
a free download. And then in February, I'm going to be launching a 30-day journaling challenge to help you reconnect with your intuition and get embodied so that you can start the process of creating a life full of pleasure.
That's going to be so powerful. I am so excited. Um,
Thank you.
so what we'll do is we will have all of her details in the show notes, and it'll be down in the description of the video, the audio. Make sure that as you're watching and listening, that you like, share, and subscribe. And we just appreciate y'all being here and listening. And I hope that y'all got something out of it because I mean, to me, I'm geeking out. These things give me life. The energy of these shows, just like, oh my God. And can you imagine, girl? I used to do 4 or 5 of them in a day,
I cannot.
sometimes 2 or 3 days a week.
Wow, I cannot.
Yeah, I was crazy.
You're doing it. You're doing it. And I'm so proud. Like I was just reflecting, I want to say, because I had interviewed for Mira a couple
Yeah.
months ago. She's gonna be on the show. And she was like, you remember Tammy? I said, yeah, I remember Tammy. And we were just reflecting on your journey and how far you've come and all the things that you've been able to do. I'm like, look, she out there doing a damn thing.
You know,
Um, and so I'm proud of you. I am. It's been amazing to witness.
I'm telling you though, you think about it, if you look, all of us in that collective,
Mhm.
all what everybody's doing. I mean, it really was like a launching pad for us, for a lot
It
of
was. It was like a spiritual coming out for so many people. And since
people.
people came out, they have been off to the races doing all the amazing things. Excuse my cat.
I didn't even see it.
Sorry.
I didn't even see it. But yeah, so yeah, so I mean, just being able to, and to me, it's like feeling into our skin and actually, stepping into and embodying the thing that we feel called to do. Even though, I mean, we do other things, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like I'm sure you do other sessions and services if you
Yeah.
were called to, but just embodying the thing that, is like I asked God, I said, I'm looking for my magic.
Yes.
Everybody has their magic. I said, but I'm looking
Mhm.
for mine. What is the magic of me? And
Yes. I love it.
journey, that I went on for like a couple of years. Like
Hmm.
2022, was it 22? 23. 2023, I was real quiet.
Yeah.
I didn't do a whole lot of nothing because I was healing and stuff. And
Hmm.
and I was called to do that. And it was such a different type of situation for me, and so I was like, wow, and I didn't even honestly realize until like toward the end of the year, I was like, damn, I really didn't do much of nothing. I mean, I
It's
still
for
do a
sometimes.
podcast, right? But I was like, I just didn't. And then I
Mhm.
got like you as well with the social media. I was like, I am even like today, like now, I do what I do, and then I don't. And people are like,
Yeah.
did you see my note?
Nope.
It didn't
Mm-mm.
pop up for me. I didn't see it.
Nope.
No, I said, because I'm working on some other stuff, and that stuff is distracting. I said, I ain't got time to play games with them people. I said, I need to,
Mm.
no, we're not doing that.
Nope. Nope.
All right, so we are going to get out of here. I
Thank
appreciate you, Lori.
you.
I'm just so grateful, and it was what I expected it to be because I've been visualizing interviewing you for a few years. But you know what I know about divine timing? The timing is now,
Yes.
because the glow that you have right now,
Oh,
girl. Look at L'Oreal.
thank you so much. That really means a lot. And I'm happy that everything aligned the way that it did. Because like I said, I'm ready. And this was wonderful. So thank you so much for having me as a guest. I really appreciate it.
You are so welcome. All right, so guys, we thank you for joining us on Straight Out of Savannah. I would love it if you would like, share, and subscribe. I would love it if you would comment and let us know how this landed for you. If something you heard, you know, felt good to you, because that's what we're talking about. We're talking about pleasure. So we thank you so much, and I hope that your day, night, weekend, whatever it is magical. Bye now.
Bye.